Stepping inside, the room you see is cozy but spacious. People are sitting at tables, conversing, eating, and drinking. A elf and a dwarf stand in front of one of the fireplaces. They're squared off against each other, but they're not actually fighting. They're just slowly sparring and shadowboxing very deliberately. They're practicing their stances and their techniques. Human sits against the northern wall, and he's stringing a bow and softly humming. There's a dog laying near the other fire who's snoring and just kind of pawing at the air. He's obviously having a good dream. And you do see a bar, but there's no bartender, and there's nobody taking orders or waiting on anybody. It's just kind of like a common room sort of a thing.
I would like to see what these guys are boxing or what their boxing's all about.
Well, before you can, the gentleman who led you here is going to continue to lead you to the back of the room. Over to the table up at the end of the bar.
I kind of nudge.
And he just says,
Get up in there.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I'm nudging the clearly preoccupied Hangman to keep walking. I got you.
So he just brings you over to this table at the end of the bar, and he just says, please be seated. Someone will be with you momentarily. And he exits through a door nearby. So as you guys are sitting at this table, you notice that the walls in this place are completely covered in like mounted heads of different beasts and monsters. And there are paintings, there are old maps that don't seem to correlate to the general map of Danlin that you've seen. Any other free space on the walls are taken up by swords, shields, maces, weapons of all kinds. Small bits of armor, like maybe a helm here or a breastplate there. All of the martial things that are up on the walls, like the weapons and the armor, they've been used. They're not for show. They are kind of like trophies in a way.
Should we investigate them? Maybe. I guess I'd like to just, I don't want to do anything.
You just want to wait?
I'm
going to study a map.
I scoot out my chair and I approach the nearest set of armor, and I'm gonna be taking in the craftsmanship, per usual.
And I'm just going to peruse the map.
I just want to read the index on magistrates and ministers.
Ministries.
Or ministries.
Okay, so
I'm gonna go
three of you are studying. What are you
Raksha
doing,
wants
Hangman?
to pet the puppy. What am I doing?
You can go ahead and pet that big old doggo. He's asleep, but when you start petting him, he stirs and just kind of looks up at you. It's an old basset hound, one that's seen many, many days. It doesn't stand up or anything. It just lifts its head and gives you a quick sniff on the... since you're short enough, he's kind of sniffing at your elbow, but he doesn't really get up or do anything. His tail sort of thuds the floor a couple times and starts wagging. And as your comrades are up at the table studying their surroundings, you guys wait like 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes. It's starting to seem like somebody should have already come and talked to you. And just when you think that, a man comes out of the door that the other gentleman had entered, and you can see that he has very bright armor. Golden helm sits atop his head, and a purple cape flows behind him as he walks. Since there are not enough chairs, he just comes over to your table and stands there, removes his helm and sets it on the table. You the boys that completed the Dell contract?
We are indeed. We got your note, by the way. You wanted to meet us about something.
That's right. My name's Graven. And sorry about the way you got here. Not often we have to go to someone. Usually they come to us.
Nice to meet you, Gravy.
He just kind of chuckles a little bit at that and just looks around at you. Is there anything you want to ask him, or do you want to just...
Red man.
The
We hear tell of a red man.
Yes, Purple Man.
The goblins are led by an orc, and the orc made mention of a man in red leading, leading, giving orders, being the head honcho. He's a big guy for you.
We had heard from Karen that the details of your victory, and we were a little bit surprised. Didn't really match up with anything that had been happening recently, but, there's always the odd ones. Now, the reason that you're here, we are the Guild, with a capital T, capital G, the Guild. We were founded at the turn of the last era. Ever since we've done what we can to ensure that all of Danland sees the next 50 eras. See, working for couriers is one thing. Anyone who considers themselves adventurers goes through us. Helps keep things in order. Gives assurance that there's someone held accountable for any collateral damage. We do the job guards can't. We take on threats ordinary folk could never defeat. You gentlemen have been brought here because you've been able to prove yourselves capable of handling definitely some odd situations.
Could say that again.
Can I insight check him just to see if he's on the up and up and he's not like a baddie?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Give me a sec here.
While he's doing that, I'm just going to toss out one of these real quick.
It's never a session without a divine sense.
Dude, I just got
I would be worried if you didn't, more than anything.
I like to know what's around me as far as outsiders go. Extra plan or...
So, Wainred, you're like a bat hanging upside down if the, Mojave Desert was upside down. There's you send out the ping, nothing comes back. It's just empty. There you don't sense the fiends, celestials, or undead. So you're all good there. And Nox, you just kind of watch this guy's micro expressions and anything that he might be doing to give away his disposition while he's talking, and he seems genuine. He believes in what he's saying, and he's given this kind of a talk a few times in the past.
Okay. I'll nod. I'm nodding along with him talking.
So he explains to you guys that basically the guild is the organized way for adventurers to go about doing their adventures. You guys, if you want to, well, I mean, you don't. It's not really like you have much of a choice. They're not conscripting you, but like he said, if you want to do your adventures, you either are going to have to go through them or just be vigilantes, which is probably not what you want to do. So you guys will have to register with them as an official, adventuring kind of group. If you want, you can come up with a name for yourselves so you don't have to, it'll be a little bit easier to talk about yourselves as a group to other people and to other parties. And they tell you that they do have the guild is established all over Danland. They've got outposts all over the place. And for the people that end up working for them and doing a lot of work and doing it well, they actually offer those people domiciles or places to live or places to operate out of. So if you guys want to, you can go through the registration process and get that whole thing started.
I finally chime up. With these living quarters, is there any sort of crafting or workspace areas for us to maintain our equipment and be able to perhaps utilize the spoils of our adventures to make things for our benefit?
Some do, as far as my memory serves me well. Some do, some do not. the equipment available in these places of housing it varies. We don't build them all the same, but I believe we could find you something if we decide to allow you to live in one of these places.
So is there like a contract we're gonna have to sign or something?
You just register in like their charter book as an official group that is working under the guild. So it's just like if you were a member of any other kind of like Broadshow probably could like get into bardic colleges because he is a bard, or if you guys had a rogue, he might have connections to the thieves guild, kind of a thing. So this is just like how you get your adventuring done officially, and how you get like rewarded for it and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Are there any enemies of the guild we should be aware of?
Anything with claws, fangs, and a bad disposition.
So no, like, rival adventurer guilds at all?
No, they established themselves 800 years ago when the last era started, which is the 8th one you guys are now in. So they've been around for a long time, and nobody else really felt the need to oppose them in their business because they have been doing it for so long. They are they're like, I don't know how to say it. They're well established.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Well,
Is there any sort of entry exam that we need to pass, or any requirements that you have before we are chartered in?
No, but be aware that once you are signed up, we might have a task for you almost immediately. Depends on the availability, and there's almost always something out there.
well, as long as
I'm fine with
the
that.
cause is just, you won't get a complaint from me.
We will perhaps discuss a little bit more about that workshop quarters, but I believe that, looking around the table, the feeling is unanimous. We will join.
Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he kind of just like signals to somebody at the other end of the room. You see somebody, the person that he signaled to, go into a door. They come back a couple minutes later with a large tome. It's leather bound. It has probably thousands of pages in it, and sets it down in front of you, opens up to a new page, and hands you all a quill and an inkwell to sign. And if you wish to decide on a name for your group, you certainly can. I'll let you guys discuss that and talk about it.
I put that name forward
Which one?
in chat.
Baby.
3 men and a baby.
Yeah.
Baby.
Oh yeah.
No, well, let's see here. I don't know, I mean,
We're quite a league of justice.
I don't know if we're all,
What do other people
Just
name
as
them?
He, when he hears you say that, Wainred, he kind of just laughs and shakes his head. Already have somebody under that name. I'm sorry. It's been taken.
Nuts.
3 men and a baby has been taken?
Darn.
No, Wayne
Justice League.
No, the League of Justice kind of thing. Like,
I was like, who took 3 men and a baby?
We'll back burner 3 men and a baby for right now. But,
We can shorten it down like Three Ma Baby.
Three my
Three
baby.
Ma Baby.
Three Ma
Too
Baby.
long? Is 3 men and a baby too long?
no,
No, it's just kind of.
it's,
We can come up with maybe like a one-word kind of thing, or maybe just 2 words. So, because every time we introduce ourselves, hi, we're 3 men and a baby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like,
I don't see the problem with that.
I mean, it's just a literal,
But it's like
You know-
exactly there'd be like 1, 2, 3, and then like a little guy.
Oh, they won't even see me.
And it's
I'm
not
not gonna
gonna,
be part
it's
of
not
the,
gonna strike fear into our
introduction.
enemies really.
Oh, true.
Oh, here comes 3 men and a baby, and that's gonna be on our banner, and we're gonna have a little logo of like 3 men and like we're holding you.
Pushing
We're
a
cradling
baby
you.
carriage or something.
We're kind of like I'm like perched on Heskar's like shoulders, like smiling, like cheesy, awkward family photos. And Waynard's like kind of in the back, like flipping his cape out, and you're like a little baby being cradled in
God damn
in Heskar's arms.
Huh.
I don't know.
the something.
The
Battle chasers? Maybe? I don't know.
The righteous, the do-gooders. Good fellas.
Of justice.
We're good fellas.
Goodfellas.
Justice for
Justice for. The
big guys.
The marginal. The
Big
marginally
guys for
fantastic
you.
For
four.
you.
With the number 4.
Yeah, and the letter U.
How about just I don't know, for you?
For you.
I don't know. Swift Guard, maybe.
CIA.
That's pretty cool.
Swift Guard.
CIA.
Wilson.
We're the fucking FBI.
I
seen the
grab
fucking-
the quill and
Like,
Swift Guard
what is it?
just to
Invincible.
get this going.
Yeah, Swift Guard.
Okay,
Invincible
I
Iron
scratch Swift Guard.
The Invincible
Next
Iron
to,
Man
all our
CIA
names.
edit. That's fucking great.
Swift Guard.
Type it in
Yes.
chat.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
type it in chat.
Okay.
And a
Gotcha.
cool ass. You have to do the.
The
Look,
guild,
emblem.
yeah, the
Wow.
party sigil. That's up to you. Okay, cool. Just make it a shield with the Nike swoosh on it.
And the Adidas logo on top of it.
The Adidas logo.
And have the, like, fat, rounded corner of the Nike have the Bane mask.
Actually, have it inside the like UPS symbol.
And then put the arrow and FedEx on there. Just the,
And then you gotta hide the FedEx guy somewhere on
See,
there.
you're not taking out these suggestions. We're brainstorming. Anyways,
it's all just shipping
yeah,
and packaging.
we
Like,
write Swift Guard down, and all our
UPS.
names are scratched in there as well.
I signed mine as Dark Knight. I don't want my name on any official documents.
I just put Knox.
Hey, Ron.
He's gonna make you put down your real name because they need to be able to find who you are. They can't just ask, you know.
Action by House Bruceman.
God damn it! Just write your.
Don't you have like a
No.
stamp, like a house stamp that your
Yeah,
sigil?
I'll-
Just
I'll-
pump?
I
I
write
don't have
my
one on
name.
me. It's
yeah,
back at the manor. I write my name normally.
I write my, full name in there, and
I write with my left hand.
just
Like a claw
in
hook.
as straight letters that I can. Heskar Delmarev.
I swirl it. I churn it.
And I'm assuming Hingman.
Oh yeah.
He big scrawling letters.
Kind of looks like a 3-year-old wrote it.
Looks like it's.
The pencil's too
though it's
big.
with an inkwell, it looks like it's drawn in crayon.
Yep.
Where'd this quill come from?
Maybe the Hingman just grabbed the
With two
candle
hands.
off the wall
But
and
yeah, we all
wrote it in with that.
we've all signed our real names.
Sure.
Sure,
Sure.
man.
Just to make sure that we can get.
Mm.
I sign it the notorious HMB.
So that's you just put it in the side.
Yep.
But yeah, that's we got it all signed and everything. T's dotted.
And I spit to me.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have my hand for you to push the talk there for a second.
To your name.
That's my signature.
So
I use gestures more than anything.
Fair enough. True. Probably pissed off the guy that brought the book.
So after you guys have signed the charter, he will just take it back, or the person who brought it over will then take it back and go back into the other room, and supposedly he'll place it back wherever it came from in the room.
He just like throws it, like whatever.
Peace.
And he says, "Well, okay then. Now that business is taken care of, let me see what we have available. If you gentlemen would like to help yourselves to a beverage or chat with any of the other members here, please feel free. It will take me a few minutes to go over all of our work orders right now, but please make yourselves at home."
So do we now get benefits from this? Like, are things?
Like healthcare and dental.
Got to check out their dental before we signed. Damn it.
The advantages that you're going to get from this, there are many, like I said, there's many like outposts or offices for the guild all over Danlin. So if there's ever a place that you need to go and just like recuperate or check in or get some correspondence going somewhere, that would probably be the place to do it. If you want to ask if you want to ask Graven specifically about any other kind of stuff, you can certainly do that when he comes back.
Fair enough. I wander over to the hearth. I'm assuming the fire is going. Does it seem like a decently enough fire?
Yep, both the fires are lit. The one on the south wall is a little bit lower than the other one, but neither are they blazing fires. They're just kind of crackling logs.
More than anything, I just wanted to see if maybe using the slight heat from them, I could just finish that little symbol that I was working on.
Oh shit, I wasn't holding down, sorry.
What?
I wasn't holding the button down.
Oh. Yeah, if you if possible, just to meander over to that western side one, so I could just try and see if maybe I can, continue a little work on that symbol that I was working on.
Sure. You'll have to kind of navigate around a little awkwardly about the two people that are like shadow boxing and sparring right over there. And like they'll step out of your way, but they're not going to break what they're doing. They just keep kind of slowly making contact, changing what they're doing. It's like, I don't know the name of it, but that like wooden training dummy kind of a thing that they use for like Wing Chun and stuff. You know what I mean? They're doing that to each other very slowly and methodically, just like working through. And every so often they'll stop and one will point out something to the other, how to improve their footing or something like that.
I give them space. I walk around them, and I just, like I said, kind of put the metal into the tongs and just set it in the fire, watching the metal slowly kind of heat up a little bit.
I would like to scope out these guys that are boxing and see if they can maybe teach me a thing or two.
I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna see that the dudes fight.
I'll just kind of kick back and relax a little bit.
Grab the bottle from behind the bar.
Okay, so the two guys that are sparring with each other just continue to spar. Do you actually want to like? They hear you talking, but they don't really like respond other than just like simple answers. They're kind of in the middle of it, but if you want to wait until they're done, they can start working with you.
Can I start like miming what they're doing? Like when somebody does Tai Chi, I'm just like kind of like gonna mirror what they're doing and try to follow what they're doing.
Sure.
So I'm like miming them. I'm like, okay.
I just want to observe and absorb as much information as possible before they, I guess, give me a clinic on whatever it is they're doing.
And I'm still just sitting on one knee, just kind of like, heating that metal that I had. That's all.
Okay. What are you doing, Hingman?
I'm drinking, dude.
I'm drank.
You go.
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. How much are you drinking?
Just a beer because like
Stout.
an ale's like a big stout or a big old flagon of ale, but just one of them because I'm a little guy.
Beer, please.
This is a pint.
They come in pints.
Pints for a pint-sized guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, the pint is literally like this big in your hands. You're just
Wow.
like, whoa.
Bigger than a
Make 'em
hobbit
that
skull.
big.
Cool.
So, do you want to, I guess, in the time that we're still waiting for him?
All right. So the two stop what they are doing. They take a moment to stretch, wipe off some sweat from odd places on their forehead and arms and stuff. They then turn to both of you, and you each they partner up, one apiece with you. So Nox, you've got the elf partnered with you, and Waynard, you have the dwarf partnered with you. They're going to just ask you to strike them, just with your fists, and see what happens. So go ahead and make an attack roll.
I'm gonna crack my knuckles for this.
Yeah. Are
On my neck. Fuck
fist
neck.
attacks, unarmed attacks, are they finesse so you can use strength or dex, or?
No, it's only your strength, unless you're a monk. But I know you're not.
Or is this a saving throw or is just what? What is this?
No, just like rolling a
Roll an attack.
rolling an attack where you're not proficient in your fist, so it's just what's your strength modifier?
-1.
-1. So you do roll a d20, and then it's a -1.
Ooh, I got a crit fail.
Oh, crit.
I think I'm
-1
gonna
though.
use another luck on that because I don't like crit fails.
I think cracking my knuckles helped.
At least it's not a crit fail.
Yeah.
So, Nox, you stand in front of the elf and think about this for a second. You know that you're not like punching is not your strong suit, but you're willing to learn. So you just take a moment to kind of size him up, and you strike out with a left hook, and he turns to either dodge it or block it. But as he turns, you bring your foot around and sweep his leg and plant him right on the ground.
Nice.
And while you're doing that, Wainrid, you are equally looking at your opponent, kind of gauging his strength, and you try to do a similar kind of a move where you go to deliver an uppercut, but you don't connect with where you wanted it to. You were kind of trying to hit him right in the solar plexus, but it misses a little bit and just kind of slides off the side of his torso, like on his ribs. It definitely would still like hurt a little bit, but it's not as effective as what you're trying to go for.
I would like to put down my maul and actually get ready with my fists.
You probably did that before you punched
I
him.
was gonna say, you weren't like, weapon in the one hand and
Oh, I
swinging with
totally
the
was.
other.
Just standing there like this and just...
So over the next 15 minutes, they kind of it's like when somebody's learning to dance for the first time or something like that. They ask you to keep repeating this one same move, and as you are doing that, they're both circling you, conferring with each other. They're coming up to you, and they are physically taking their hands and moving your arm or straightening your back or improving your footing. They're they are putting on a clinic right now.
Straighten up here.
I'm just still just sitting there, turning the metal, occasionally kind of like using the stones along the edges and just kind of giving the symbol some very delicate taps with the hammer, trying to shape it still.
It's starting to come along really well. For the amount of work that you put into it, it's nearing completion, and it looks pretty good. The bottom part, how big are you trying to make it? Like the size of your palm or something?
Yeah, just a little bit smaller than the size of a normal person's palm.
So the bottom disc that is starburst or almost gear shaped has a fine polished bronze sort of sheen to it. The four pieces that sit atop that, almost clover-like in their shape, are little bits of wood. You've spent a little bit of time separately from the metal, just sanding them down a little bit and finding some varnish or some paraffin wax to get a seal on them. And right now, you're working with the metal to finish the last piece of the puzzle, which is the four spear-like protrusions that come from the center spoke on the symbol for Gaunt. So you're sharpening the small tips. You're making sure everything is straight and not bent, that it is strong and sturdy. Go ahead and make me a strength check, please, for just your general crafting right now.
So good.
How's that logo coming, Bard Show? Right on.
Right on, right on.
The first one with a
Good.
14.
Oh yeah. So yep, like I said, it's coming together. It's not your best work, but it's good work. So you're not disappointed in it.
Well, I mean, like I'm like that's I think you know I've like you said it's not my best work, so I'm like kind of slightly agitated myself, not really taking the time that I should be taking, especially with something representing Gone. But you know,
God will not love
I mean you know obviously like you with your description it's coming along quite well.
So, and Hingman, you're just you know that this stuff is happening behind you. You just don't care. You're sitting in your cups. You are thinking about where maybe you can follow the next lead. You, since you're not from this continent, you had to travel pretty far to get to where you are and get established. You were hoping that your job with the Swiftfoots would give you a clue as to where to look next to learn more about the person that you're trying to study, but you're just kind of thinking this over in your head and just kind of pondering what to do next, or just it's something that's not that far from your mind at most times. And right now, while you're having a contemplative moment with your drink, it's one of those times that you're thinking about it.
You're staring at the glass like, oh.
Oh.